When most CEOs think about teamwork, they go for the obvious things like collaboration and working well together and having loads of fun together. And that's great, and those things are really important. And they don't happen unless we build a culture of trust. So everything for me starts from a place of trust. And trust is quite nuanced. So you can think about trust on so many different levels, and most trust is packaged into what I would call that predictive trust. Like, if I've known you for long enough, I can start to predict how you might behave based on your reliability, your credibility, or how well we've known each other. That's not what I mean. By trust, what I mean is like vulnerability-based trust. Like, how many people in your team feel comfortable enough to say to each other and you, I don't know what I'm doing. I got that wrong. I need help. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. I screwed up. How many of your people can actually be that emotionally naked, if you like, that they can genuinely admit and be human in front of each other? By creating a culture where it's okay to be human, creates a culture where we can actually help each other. If we create that culture, then we can tackle the next most common issue within any team. And the most common issue within teams then is whether or not they have the effective, courageous culture of conflict. Conflict is like deeply rooted for most human beings. Conflict can be something that we avoid for cultural reasons, because of upbringing. Maybe in our households when we were kids, we saw our parents argue and that landed us into deep waters, and our parents ended up getting divorced. And so we think that all conflict ends in catastrophe. Maybe conflict actually hasn't been modeled for us when we were growing up. And real conflict is debate. Good conflict, constructive conflict, is passionate debate at times about things that matter with people that care about it. So if in our businesses we can create a culture of constructive conflict, then we get towards the realms of collaboration. If you've got a team that can be vulnerable with each other, if you've got a team that can actually have courageous and constructive conflict, and they can commit to the decisions that are made, and they can hold each other to account, then they can have an attention to team-wide results. The absence of that means that they're only really looking at the things that matter to them. We see this so much in sales. You set an individual a sales target. You give an individual a commission structure that is set to reward them highly for what they achieve on their own, and yet businesses don't survive with just lone rangers. Account management, customer relationship, and sales is a team sport and not a Lone Ranger activity. Pick any sporting analogy and you will find the difficult player on the court, on the pitch, in the field that makes everyone's life harder. And if everyone's life is harder, you haven't got a team operating at their best. So be vulnerable, have conflict, commit to the decisions, hold each other to account, and pay attention to the team results. That is a culture of a high-performing team.